chapter 6, verse 16. It's only a verse, but it contains a very important message. It's a message against racism, and especially religious racism, which is caused by religious fanatism, which blinds people and causes them to be prejudiced, unfair and hard towards people who have different beliefs. And in this verse, we'll read how Jesus treated people from different religions. It's a short verse, but we have a lot to learn from it. So here it is. And after a time, Jesus went to Assyria and India and to Persia and into the land of the Chaldeans, and he visited their temples and conversed with their priests and their wise men for many years, doing many wonderful works, healing the sick as he passed through their countries. So, in the previous verses, we read that Jesus, after the death of his wife Miriam, when he was about 25 years old, before he started his mission, he went to Egypt to learn of the wisdom of the Egyptians, and he stayed in the desert for a period of time and dedicated himself to prayer, fasting and meditation in order to come closer to God and become spiritually stronger. And he also dedicated himself to learning new things, and he increased his knowledge in many different areas. He had many different interests. For example, we read that he was interested in animals and he studied their ways of communication. He also studied the plants and their healing powers and use in medicine. He studied geology. He studied literature, astronomy, mathematics, geometry, and philosophy. So he was a very well-educated man, and when he returned to Israel, he became a rabbi, a teacher in the temple in Nazareth and in Jerusalem, and everyone treated him with respect. And in this verse we read that after that he decided to travel to new countries in order to have new experiences. He loved learning. He had an open mind, and he wanted to explore different cultures, to meet different people. So it says that he went to Assyria and India and Persia and the land of the Chaldeans, and he visited their temples and conversed with their priests and their wise men for many years. So we read that Jesus was friendly towards people from different religions, and he visited their temples and discussed with their priests. He was interested to know what they believed and why they believed what they believed. He wanted to see how they worshipped God, if they were well-intentioned, if they were righteous, if they had a good heart, if they honored God with their works and their lives. And he wanted to understand them better. He tried to approach them. He was caring and interested in them. And God loves all people, even people from different religions, because all people are His children, His creations. And God doesn't make discriminations. He's not a racist. He cares for all people, and He wants to approach all people and to understand their way of thinking and their way of behaving. And so it says that he discussed with them and with their wise men, and he probably had a lot to learn from them. First of all, he became more open-minded. He was respectful towards people who were different from him. He was not selfish, he was not arrogant, he did not demand that other people were like him. Because this is a form of selfishness, when people cannot tolerate people who are different from them and they judge them, or they look down on them, or they treat them with contempt. This is a form of arrogance, and Jesus came to teach us to love other people and to love them in a genuine way, not to make discriminations against anybody, to have respect for their differences, and to try to understand them instead of judging them. So Jesus discussed with them. This doesn't mean that he agreed with everything that they believed, but he was open-minded, and it seems that the truth is like a puzzle with many pieces, and these pieces are scattered around the world, and it seems that all religions have some pieces of the truth. Some have more pieces, other religions less, but all religions contain a dose of the truth, and they have some good teachings, good doctrines, and we can learn a lot from people who have different beliefs from ours. And for example, Muslims, they give a lot of attention to prayer. They believe in the power of prayer, so they pray 3 or 4 times a day regularly, which is very good, because it helps them to come closer to God and to remember God in every situation of life, and we can learn a lot from them. Or for example, the Jews, they believe in the importance of the law. They think that it is important to honor God with their actions and to try to follow His will and to do what pleases Him, which is also very important. And also, for example, the Hindus, they respect very much nature and all forms of life. So they love animals, even insects, and they have compassion for those who are weak, for the defenseless animals. And for example, Buddhists, they have taught the yoga exercises, which are very helpful. They help people relax and clear their minds from negative thoughts and feelings, which are obstacles. They prevent us from having inner peace and approaching God, because God is peace and love. And if we are overcome by negative feelings, we cannot concentrate on spiritual matters. We cannot improve ourselves, because our negative feelings cause us to behave in a bad way. So yoga exercises can help us rid our minds from those bad thoughts or feelings. So all religions have some good teachings, some good methods for approaching God and becoming more righteous. So we can learn a lot from different religions, from people who are different from us. Sometimes also by discussing with them, we can become more aware of our own beliefs. We can clear our mind. We can become more certain about what we believe and why we believe it. We can understand ourselves and our faith better. So there are a lot of advantages in having a respectful attitude towards people who are different from us, people who believe different things from us. And Jesus stayed in those countries for many years, so he probably made many good friends from those countries, people who really cared for him and he cared for them, and he met them often, and he was interested in their way of life, and he wanted to be close to them. And it's really nice if we have the same attitude if we meet people from different religious sects or different religions. It is nice to treat them in a friendly way, not to judge them, not to consider them as inferior to ourselves, but to try to understand them and to see if we can learn something from them, if we can receive a good influence from them. And it would be wonderful if all people were united, if there were no religious wars or conflicts, and people respected one another and they lived in harmony. For example, we hear about the conflict between Palestinians and Jews in Israel, and it's very sad that the Jews hate the Muslims and the Muslims hate the Jews, and they also believe in revenge, and if the Jews kill some Palestinians, then the Palestinians want to kill more Jews, and so on, and so the violence never ends. And it's really sad. It would be nice if people could respect one another, if they could tolerate people who are different from them and live together in harmony. And we also read that Jesus made many wonderful works. He did many wonderful works, and he healed the sick as he passed through their countries. So he was not only interested in their religions, in their cultures, in their way of living, but he also loved them, and he loved them in a very genuine way. He wanted to help them, he wanted to heal them, to improve their lives. So he did whatever he could for them. Even people who didn't agree with him or they didn't have the same mind as him, he was kind to them too. He healed them from their illnesses. He came to give them hope. And this is really wonderful, because this is true kindness. Kindness should be impartial. If a person is nice, they should be nice to all people, not only to the people who are similar to them. And if we have a good heart, our heart will be wide. There will be space in it for many different people, and not only for a few ones, for those who are, let's say, the mirror images of ourselves. This is just selfishness. People should learn to respect other people who are different from them, and if they manage to do that, then there would be peace in the world, and even at schools there will not be children bullying other children. There wouldn't be any discriminations in society, and the world would be a better place. There would be more justice, and it would just be wonderful. So this is the message for today, that if we want to be true Christians, we should avoid all forms of racism, just like Jesus, that he was kind to all people, even to those who were different from him and who didn't agree with him. So this is it for today.